If I had $1 for every time a viewer left a comment asking me which skates are best for them, I would be a millionaire. Sadly, I'm not a millionaire. It can be tricky to recommend skates to someone that I've never met. While many boots are similar, some are quite different in the material and performance. There is so much that goes into finding the right skate for you. Your preference for skates is just as critical as your choice of coach. The fit, comfort, and performance of the boot should be your primary focus. In this video, I'm going to help you better understand skating boots so that you can make an informed decision on the best choice for you. Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Your physical build, age, height, weight, and body composition, along with your discipline, free skating, ice dance, synchro, and your skating skill level, all determine the support of the boot required and your ability to break in the boot correctly. Too heavy or too strong of a boot can be painful to break in. This results in foot damage or problems later on. All skaters, no matter what your level, should be sized by a knowledgeable professional skate tech. Reputable skate techs have received product training and skate fitting procedures from all the major manufacturers. The best way to find a professional tech is to ask your coach or your rink skating director if you're in group lessons, who they recommend that you go to. They'll usually steer you towards a tech that has developed a reputation for quality and service with their skaters. For example, I always recommend that all my skaters, even those in group lessons, go to see Greg at Polar Skate Shop.
Hello.
If you're in my area of New Jersey, you can go to Greg too. He's in East Hanover. This video is not sponsored by Polar Skate Shop, by the way. It's actually not sponsored by anyone unless you count me, because I put all this stuff out for you. I just recommend Greg because I like his work. You may think that getting fitted sounds expensive. You might be tempted to save some money by ordering online or going to a discount store like Target, Walmart, or Dick's Sporting Goods. You may even be thinking of finding a pair of used skates from another skater or on Facebook Marketplace. I understand that money is a concern. You want to stretch your dollar as far as you can. After all, if you spend less money on skates, you can spend more money on lessons and practice. Before you purchase skates outside of a recommended specialty store or you purchase a used pair of skates, take this into consideration. Getting a skate that isn't appropriate for your skill level or isn't the right size for you can actually cost you more money in the long run. The wrong skate can actually hinder your progress and even cause injuries. If your boot doesn't fit you correctly, the lifespan of your skates can be compromised. You're gonna have to buy a new pair even earlier than you planned. No matter what I say or what your coach or the skating director at your rink says, you might still feel it's best to purchase outside of a recommended shop. If you do that, and again, I advise you to only purchase skates from a recommended skate shop. But if you decide not to go with my advice, never, and I mean never ever, purchase too large of a skate. Purchasing skates that are more than a half size too large is going to result in poor skating performance, discomfort, and irritation. More than that, they're not even going to last you as long. They're going to break down prematurely. Several issues develop when you wear poorly fitted and sized skates. Wearing skates that are too large can bring your balance to your heel. You need to get to the ball of your foot for turns, transitions, spins, and jumps. Getting to the ball of your foot will become challenging, if not impossible, if your skates are too big. For those that are still growing, you should replace your skates regularly to ensure they're not too tight or too loose. Always be wary of used skates. I've seen many skaters come to group lessons in skates that are well beyond their skill level, in the wrong size. I've seen skaters with wide feet squeezed into narrow skates that are otherwise too long. I had one skater borrowing a friend's skates. She was so uncomfortable that she almost stopped coming to class. That was until I took the time to check her skates and discuss it with her parents. They decided to go see Greg at Polar Skate Shop. Once that skater had the right pair of skates for her, she began progressing so much faster, and now she takes private lessons. If your skater is very young, you may be tempted to get away with used skates. You're probably okay with that. Typically, boots that are under a size 1 are generally in good condition. The skater's weight is commonly lighter, and the support will remain firm for several years before breaking down. However, once you get into used skates in sizes 1 through 4, you need to wonder about the support levels being sufficient. Any used skate larger than a size 4 is usually not in proper condition. These skaters are generally heavier, and they tend to wear them longer. Thus, they break down more quickly. Ultimately, you want to look out for creasing in the boot. You're going to want to look right under the ankle where the boot bends for creasing. If you're considering Edea, like these pianos here, you should never ever see a crease. I'm going to get to why that is later, so stay with me. Different skating levels need different boots. The entry level or recreational skating level is the period from your first time on the ice and the first few levels of a learn to skate program. Rinks commonly use a soft skate, molded plastic, or leather for their rental skates. Most entry level skaters will begin with those rentals. Rental skates are okay for your first few times on the ice until you know if you like it. Once you decide to continue skating, you'll have a much easier time if you have your own pair of skates. Rental skates, unfortunately, are not always in the best condition. Plus, adjusting to a new pair of skates each time you skate can be really challenging, especially for older or heavier skaters. A popular trend in the industry is the soft skate. These are intended for recreational skating. A few public sessions a year on weekends, beginning and learn to skate programs, or pond skating, really. Riedell's Soft Series and Jackson Soft Tech skates are the most popular. While soft skates are comfortable and affordable, there's a downside. That's the boot support system does not provide ample support beyond learn to skate basic 3 or maybe basic 4. Remember that you're going to have to upgrade once you get to those levels. Rental and entry-level skates are commonly made from a blend of inexpensive materials with minimal features. Fewer pieces of leather are used in the upper to lighten the skate. They have minimal stiffness, allowing for greater plantar flexion. That's the movement of the foot in a downward motion away from the body, and dorsiflexion. Skates in this category generally will come with pre-attached blades made from lower grade metals and a parallel style runner. The toe pick is going to be less pronounced and usually straight cut. The height of the heel and blade stanchions will also be lower. This creates a lower center of gravity for better balance and more stability, making it easier for a beginner skater to stay over their edges. Starting at basic 5, you're going to learn 1-foot turns, like 3 turns.
Good! Do another one? You want to do another one?
And steps like mohawks or C-step. These elements increase your need for stability. Once you pass Learn to Skate USA Basic 6 or ISI Gamma, purchasing quality skates is critical. Skates in this category generally will have double reinforcement. Not all do. Double reinforcement is 2 pieces of leather sewn together in the upper. It adds support to the ankle region. Most boots at the developmental level are still sold with the blade attached. Beginning at Learn to Skate USA Free Skate 1 or ISI Freestyle 1, you'll want a skate designed for spinning and jumping. Boots at this level have various features that will enhance your comfort and performance. The price is going to reflect those benefits. Remember, the skates must fit you today according to your age, size, ability level, strength, and style. You don't want to grow into your skates. Almost all the boots at this level have increased strength. To counter that additional stiffness, traditional boots, like those from Jackson and Riedell, often have a flex notch at the front of the ankle, which provides less resistance for easier knee and ankle bend. This is a valuable feature, particularly for young skaters who are lighter and starting to develop leg strength. However, there is a brand that does not have this, Edea. I told you I'd get back to Edea. Edea boots do not bend laterally, so the sides stay. There's no way to bend these sides, guys. The bend comes from the tongue. Let me take this out. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Stay with me. I'm going to show you this. There we go. I got it off. They're engineered so the sides remain in one position while only the tongue of the boot bends. This is why it's so absolutely critical that if you have Edea boots, there is no crease in the sides. In 2012, PSA and US Figure Skating hosted a focus group to discuss the future of figure skating boots. The group's most successful outcome was the weight reduction. Linda Tremaine is a physical therapist. She suggests that a boot and blade combination should optimally weigh less than 5% of a skater's body weight. Anything that weighs more than that could potentially increase the possibility of injury or negatively impact performance. Using this recommendation, if you weigh 90 pounds, your skates should be no heavier than a combined total weight of 4.5 pounds. Let's go back to sizing for a second, because a larger boot needs a longer blade, which can be heavier than a properly sized skate. Let's talk for a minute about adults and adult-sized people. No matter what your skill level is, adult skaters and adult-sized skaters can benefit from a high-quality boot. When you get fitted, the professional tech will take your age, body composition, skill level, and steadiness on the ice into consideration. If a boot is too stiff or too heavy, it can be challenging for you to break in. Comfort is also another top consideration for adult skaters. I actually have a whole video on skates for adults and teens. There's a link to that in the description down below. There are a range of factors that go into deciding which boot is best for you. The shape of your foot can also affect your choice. If you need a combination of widths, such as if your heel is narrow, but the ball of your foot is wide, you may need to go with a brand that offers this feature or a custom option. I realize the decision of which boot to buy is often based primarily on cost and the expected life of the boot. Stock boots are made with a standard last, designed for an average foot. The last is a solid form that the boot is molded around. A boot's fit entirely depends on the shape and volume of the last. Boot makers rely on several shoe last forms to represent different anatomical foot types. Stock boots cost less. Plus, a stock boot is often easier to get, even when it needs to be ordered from the factory. It can usually be delivered within a few weeks. Manufacturers that offer stock boots include Jackson. Jackson boots have a rounded toe box, medium-high instep, and a medium width heel. Stock boots are available in AA, B, C, and D widths. Riedell boots have a tapered toe box, medium instep, and a medium width heel. Stock boots are available in AA, A, B, and C widths. AAA and D widths are available, but they're non-stock. Edea offers stock boots in C, B, D, and E. Edea's fit is focused on getting the correct size. Their approach is to size your landing foot first. It is the most stressed and typically will be the bigger foot. Edea fit is really snug. That helps to hold your heel in place while supporting the foot. Your body heat helps to mold the padding to your foot. Harlick offers stock boots in double E, quintuple A, quad A, triple A, double A, B, C, and D widths. They also are known for custom boots. I'm going to get into custom boots in a bit, so stay with me. Risport boots have a tapered toe box, a medium instep, and a medium width heel. Stock boots from Risport are available in B and C width. Graf Switzerland offers stock boots in large, medium, small, extra small. Aura by True offers 2 models of stock boots and custom skates, which utilize patented 3D foot scanning technology. Every skater I know that has Aura boots raves about them. I'd love to try them. SP-Teri boots have a rounded toe box, lower instep, and narrow width heel. Stock boots are available in 4A, AAA, AA, A, B, C, and D. Quintuple A and D widths are special orders and are non-returnable. There are times when a stock boot will not fit your needs. Some foot issues can only be accommodated by a custom boot or, in some cases, a special order. You may need different lengths or widths for each foot, or need to allow for orthotics. Custom boots are made using a combination of various size stock lasts or lasts that have been altered by applying additional pieces of material to mimic the measurements of your foot. Custom boots are offered by Avanta, Aura, Harlick, Jackson, Riedell, and SP-Teri. Jackson Ultima has a rapid custom option too. You choose a model, a tongue, and a sole. Then it can be customized for your unique feet by using a wider or narrower last. The upper can be shaped to the desired fit and increase comfort and reduce the chance of injury. Avanta, Harlick, Riedell, and SP-Teri offer custom boots. Avanta only offers custom boots. Edea offers stock boots that are fully custom shaped by using thermoformable material. Edea boots are made of synthetic materials and have memory foam inside. The foam allows the boot to form comfortably around your foot. Again, with Edea, there should be no creases. If a crease forms on an Edea boot, it means you're not lacing your boots correctly or you're in too large of a size. If a crease forms, you're done. You got to replace them. Edea boots can also be custom shaped in width. Heels can be tightened or opened. Shaping can also be done to accommodate different concerns. I have hardware on my ankle, so they bumped the boot out here. I don't know if you can see that. You do need to go to an authorized dealer that has been trained to do that, no matter what brand you go with. Your measurements are the most critical part of the entire process. Each manufacturer has specific requirements. Not all measure the same way. Measurements must be taken according to the manufacturer's specific specifications. The more accurate the measurements are, the better the skate will fit you. Skating boots are different from shoe sizing. Plus, the length of the boot sole varies by manufacturer. If you change brands, you may have to purchase a new blade. Sometimes the same size in a different model by the same brand may require blades of different length too. When you go for your fitting, wear your thin skating socks and allow at least an hour. The entire foot must be considered for comfort and support when you're getting fitted by a professional tech. I have a video that explains more about how boots are measured by different brands. I originally made that video to help those of you that told me that there's no skate shop near you. If you missed that video, there's a link to it in the description down below. Production time will vary throughout the year for most manufacturers. At the time that I'm posting this video, we're experiencing unprecedented supply chain issues. I usually would tell you to allow approximately 4 to 14 weeks for your custom boots, but right now, it could take much longer. Also, remember that many manufacturing plants will shut down for several weeks over the summer and a week or two at the end of the year. Many boots are heat moldable. Your professional tech will heat them in a special oven that's designed for skates. Leave this to the professionals. Please don't make your skates at home. Seriously, just don't. The only skates you should be baking at home are sugar cookie skates. With Edea, they don't go in an oven at all. In fact, what a tech does is they use a high-powered hairdryer, not even a heat gun, a high-powered hairdryer to heat up the boot, and then with special tools, they'll do the punch-outs as is needed. Once your skates are appropriately fitted and heat molded, you should make sure that you're lacing them correctly. Skates that are too loose can cause ankles to roll and not create enough support for your foot. It can also lead to foot problems or premature boot breakdown. I have a whole other video about lacing and tying your skates. There's a link to that in the description down below. How long will your skates last? This is one of those things that depends on your level, your size, your weight, the type of boot you have, how well you care for them. A poorly maintained boot can lead to a fall.
Oh my goodness!
Even worse, an injury. It's not uncommon for hooks to pop off, laces to break.
Hook or a lace, they have to go right to the referee, report the problem, and then the referee makes a ruling.
Diane Rawlinson to the left, her coach.
Tie it right here.
In a situation like this, the referee, the judging panel will give her every opportunity to put out her best performance. Again, it's so important that the skate is tied properly. It's important that it's comfortable on your foot.
Be sure to take care of your skates and change your laces often. Traditional boots need to be water sealed on the sole. You don't need to do this with Edea, but with traditional boots, this is sealed. Your tech's gonna do this before your blade is mounted using a marine grade varnish or a product called Snow Seal. Regardless of what material your boot is made from, you should wipe all boots with a clean, moisture absorbing towel like a microfiber towel. And also wipe down the inside. Bacteria from your feet can attack the materials of the skate, causing mold, mildew, and rot. Here's a fun fact. Your foot contains more active bacteria than any other body part. It does. Bacteria eat protein, and if you have leather skates, leather is 98% protein. So I always recommend wearing thin skating socks to create a barrier between your foot and the boot. Some of these socks even have moisture wicking properties. Still, I realize that some of you prefer to skate without socks. This is going to drive your perspiration into the boot and can cause premature breakdown. Plus, it's going to make your boots absolutely stink. Wearing socks is much more hygienic, especially if they are moisture wicking. Let's suppose you absolutely cannot skate with socks on. I know that there are some skaters out there that is true for. In that case, I suggest getting Jackson barefoot booties to reduce your foot's contact with the interior of the skate. Even if you wear socks when you skate, when you take your skates off, always loosen the laces and pull the tongue forward to let the boots dry on the inside. Never leave your skates in your car. You know who you are. Don't even store them in your skate bag or a locker. Take them out in a room temperature room to allow air to circulate and dry the skates. Don't use a hair dryer to dry wet skates or leave them next to a fire or a wood stove. This can cause the materials to shrink, dry, and become brittle. Timing is everything when it comes to skates. For many of you, this may seem obvious. When you get new skates, always try to do it with enough time to adjust to them and break them in before important dates like tests or competitions. Give yourself sufficient time to break them in. Traditional skates that are made from leather can have a rather painful break-in period. Bunga pads or the Jackson barefoot booties can really be your best friend in these situations and make the break-in process much more comfortable. Break-in is especially important for the boot to last and for the crease to form properly. No, not with Edea, but with other skates. An improper break-in can cause the boot to break down prematurely or in the wrong area, which can ultimately cause you an injury. When breaking in your skates, spend a session or two just stroking forward and backward, and then introduce lower level moves in the field and maybe some basic spins. When the boot starts to feel comfortable enough, add more advanced moves, spins, and single jumps. Continue to progress from there. During the break-in period, you should stop about every 10 to 15 minutes to relace the boots, pull the lacing tight, and adjust the tongue to its proper position. Relacing the boot gets the upper and the tongue to take your foot shape. There are many old wives' tales about wearing wet socks or putting water or other liquid in the skate to soften up the leather. Don't do this. It can cause damage to the skate. For boots and blades purchased unmounted, if you were to order them online, don't walk in your boots until you have the blades mounted. Skating boots are not designed for you to walk in as if they were shoes. Your skate tech is going to generally mount your blade to your new boots in a way that the blade placement can be adjusted later. Once you are happy with your blade's position, permanent screws are added by your tech. Some screws will remain unused, like I have 4 that are unused. If anything has to be changed in the future, it's easier for the tech to do that. This is why it's so important for you to go to a skate shop. You should not try mounting your own blades. I've seen skaters whose parents try to do this. Often they totally ruin the skate. Or I've seen screws popping through the inside of the skate to the skater's foot. I've also seen the blade fall off. Make sure you work with a skate tech that has been recommended to you by your coach or skating director. How long will your boots last? For a competitive level skater, assuming that your boot is appropriate for your level and is properly fitted, the life expectancy of your boots should be between 12 to 15 months. But poorly maintained skates can break down as soon as 9 months or 5 months. I've seen that happen. For more recreational skaters, if the foot size has not changed, the life of the skates and performance can last for several years. This is why I always advise my adult skaters to consider skates an investment. Several signs will indicate that a boot is near the end of its life and should be replaced. Often it can be unexplained loss of performance, such as a change in your balance or exceedingly painful foot issues, such as a pain in the arch. Other times there are more obvious signs, like excessive creasing around the ankle, soft and worn tongues, wrinkles in the leather, or dry cracking leather. Those are signs of breakdown. Properly caring for your skates will dramatically prolong the original comfort and performance of your boot. Use care after every use to best preserve the skate's condition. Premature breakdown caused by material deterioration is the most significant cause of boot wear. Deterioration results from chemical and thermal forces produced by the feet. Synthetic boots are not as susceptible to chemical and thermal forces, but Externally, when synthetic boots break down, there may be no noticeable crease or signs of excessive wear. However, the internal material forming the boot, which provides the boot support, can break down. Your performance will suffer. I know with Edea, when they go, they just break and you're done. You can't really skate on them anymore. So before you buy anything, discuss the options with your coach. They know you and your skating best, can suggest the brands and models. Also recommend the right professional skate tech for you to go to for a fitting. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with somebody else it could help. Just post it to your social media too. I post videos every week that can help you with your skating, your fitness, nutrition, and ultimately live a better life. So remember to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. This is Amy. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.